happen if we don't have a way in. Now, we have some huge advantages. Michael Bell had been ambassador to Israel twice, and certainly there was a junior officer once. So he had 25 years of experience with the Israelis. Myself, I've been ambassador to Jordan and had been in the Middle East peace process coordinator for years, so I had got to know the tremendous slice of the Palestinian leadership, academics and others, very, very well. And our younger partner, John Bell, is the only person I've ever met who can go and live in that area under the Jewish law of return and the Palestinian right of return. He comes from a very interesting family. And so with those assets and language skills that John was able to do here, we were able to, right from the very start, get into the senior levels of not only the Israeli government, but also the Palestinian authority structures, PLO structures, and eventually the American one as well. We had a very complicated balance to draw between being very transparent with them, but being totally invisible to everybody else. Because the last thing that we want when you're doing this kind of work is for the media and others to start kicking it around. Because the moment that happens, governments have to dismiss it. And so we were able to, we worked really closely with the Palestinians. We never wrote a major paper that wasn't immediately handed over to the Israeli Foreign Ministry and the Palestinian Negotiation Support Unit. We made sure that we used the political context that we had at the higher levels of government. At some point, the government of Israel simply said to us, we know what you're doing, make sure we don't have to notice what you're doing, which was pretty fair. At other times, Israeli prime ministers used our stuff in negotiations. We know it. We were told they would, and we've seen the evidence in the Palestine papers that they used our stuff. On the Palestinian side, the more interested, they were very interested initially. The more interested the Israelis and Palestinians got, of course, or the Americans got, of course, the more suspicious they became. But we've been told now twice, most recently in December when I was there, by the Palestinians to say, this isn't necessarily what we want, but it may be what we have to settle for. So please continue to refine your ideas, because sooner or later we'll fall through. And as I've already told you, the Americans have had all this stuff now since the beginning of the time. So that's what we'll do. I don't know whether it will ever see the light of day. Our idea fundamentally was to take the hardest part, or one of the hardest parts, refugees or the other hardest part, and at least provide a model. And I served for a number of years in Minneapolis, where the 3N company exists. And they've always been a big inspiration for me, because the 3N country, who makes Scotch tape, celebrates failure as much as it celebrates victory. You know, the Post-it notes are the result of a mistake. And so we're hoping we'll have the same effect as the Post-it notes. That sooner or later it will show up, and it will be a small Canadian contribution to resolving a very complex problem. Thanks for
Thank you so much, Mike. Yes, please relax for a moment. Okay, soon we'll have the opportunity for questions and answers. But before we do that, I'm going to invite you just to turn to one or two people who are closest to where you're sitting and just give some initial impressions of what you've heard. Tell the person you're next to what you strongly disagree with or what you strongly agree with. And let's get the juices flowing, and in 4 or 5 minutes we'll start having questions and answers.